Good. Hey everybody, and welcome to our first YouTube meeting where we're meeting one of our beautiful friends and clients from the Gold Coast. So everyone, please welcome the beautiful DevaLee Starseed from the Gold Coast in Australia. Hi DevaLee, lovely to see you today.
Hi Georgie, hi Claire. How are you going? Hi everyone out there. Beautiful, beautiful vibes floating around. I'm so glad that we can contact each other and get to know each other and get to know more soul family. So and it's amazing. I don't meet many people that I really click with that are in Australia. So it's so nice to have some Aussies starting to step up and I'm getting to know. Or it might be that I'm just ready to meet Australians now. You know, I've done a lot of courses, and I've been to America for courses, and trying to connect with soul family. And then I think, no, that's not me. That's not me. But as soon as I saw you two on the first Mark Atwood show that you did, I just knew. It was like every hair on my body was standing up straight, like the goosebumps you get. And it was such a connection that I actually cried in a couple of spots. So, and I didn't know why. And I think I'd actually booked in with Georgie to have a past life.
No, that'd be Claire, because Claire was the one.
Sorry, Claire. Sorry, it was Claire. It was Claire. Sorry, yeah, it was Claire. And before even the show had finished, or when I got to see the show, probably I didn't, watch it straight away, but it was within a couple of hours of you putting it up. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, well, you were wise. You were one of the first ones, weren't you, in the first lot that we were seeing?
Yeah.
And
you
were wise to get in quick.
So Deva and I had an absolutely amazing session where a lot of information came through. Tell us a little bit about, I guess we can start about you and what you do, and maybe we'll start there and then get into your first contact with non-terrestrials and some wonderful stories that you have. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I've always been quite a spiritual person, and all my life I have. I used to talk to our baby bunny rabbits and the cats, at home, and everybody used to take, the mickey out of me, for talking to them, and I'd be talking in the mirror in my bedroom, but I'd actually be talking to the horse down in the paddock.
Okay.
And so, I was a different child. My mother always used to say, "Oh my God, what now?" So, I've always known that I was different. And when mum died, when I was 21, I'm now nearly 61, so nearly 40 years ago. I was in a New Age bookstore in Hobart where I grew up, and a Shirley MacLaine book fell off the shelf right in front of me.
As they do.
As they do.
I've had that happen.
My mum always loved Shirley MacLaine. I did too.
Oh, wow. Well, anyway, I bought the book out on a limb, and we had this bookshelf up above the couch in the living room. And I went home, put the book up on the bookshelf. A couple of weeks later, I was laying on the couch and this darn book fell out on top of me again. So I thought, oh my God. I started to read it, and that's when I just knew that extraterrestrials, star races, star beings, everything, and I just really connected with her too. And so for years and years and years, studying different spiritual courses and doing my own inner work. And then back in 2011, on the 11th of the 11th, at 11 minutes past 11, I did a meditation. So I went the full hog, 11, 11, 11, 11. And yeah, I had some friends over and we did meditation.
Be quiet, Jessica.
And
ladies, dog problems. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Anyway, halfway through the meditation, I heard the front door open, and we've got tiles sort of in the entry of our house, and the living area where we were doing the meditation is just off the entryway. And I heard the front door open, and then I heard these big like claws on the floor, and I heard like I knew it was a cat, but I thought, oh my God, that's not my cat. And I thought you just knew that there were two sets. And I opened my eyes and looked around to see if anybody else could hear them. And there were two others, my daughter and another lady, that actually heard it. And we all went like this. So we all knew something was going on. But I looked into the entrance and there was nothing there. But going to bed that night, I think before I went to sleep, I heard, you've got two white lions now that are your gatekeepers.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. So, and for months you could hear them. We were downstairs, and because the upstairs floor is just floorboards, we could hear these huge, big, like something jumping off the bed onto the floor. It sounded like an animal because you could hear the four legs hitting the floor. And I heard that for months.
So you're quite clairaudient then to hearing a lot.
Yeah, I am. And I do have visions, even though I don't think my third eye is completely open all the way, but I do have visions as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's an amazing story. It's like you opened a portal then.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're right, actually. We know now that there's a portal on Mount Tambourine, which is about a 30-minute drive from me, but it's huge, big, so it encompasses probably the whole mountain.
Wow.
So yeah. And then a couple of weeks later, after the meditation, my husband ran inside from outside and he said, "Do you know how you think that the planets are going crazy at the moment?" He said, "Come out and have a look at this." And he said, "Wait a minute, I'm going to grab the video camera." And I thought, oh my God, I'm really going if he's going to grab the camera. So I went outside and there were three lights, one, like 1, 2, 3 that we could see. And then I could almost see a fourth, but it was sort of, I think it was like a normal shaped, like the saucer shaped ones, only it was sort of listing. So it was up on its side. So you could see the lights, and then they were going. Yeah, it was a ship. It was a huge, big ship, and I could tell that it wasn't. It seemed right outside our house, but I knew it was so big that it was a long way away. Mm. And I said to Michael, "That's not they're not planets. That's a spaceship." And I'd say by the size of it, it's a mothership. And because I contacted the MUFON the next day, and she said that I'm not the only person that has reported it.
To do with UFO sightings, is it?
To do with that one. So she said, yes, we've had lots of phone calls and emails about this one.
Wow.
And it was there for hours and hours and hours. Like I couldn't keep my eyes open past 2 a.m. in the morning, and this started like about 6 o'clock at night when we first saw it.
Wow. And did anything else happen? Did it move? Did it communicate?
It didn't, but there were like fighter jets. We could hear them coming down from Brisbane way. And I could also see like there were helicopters flying around it, but these helicopters were silent.
Mm.
You couldn't hear them. You could hear the jets, but you could not hear the helicopters.
And when was this, DevaLee?
That was just before Christmas in 2011.
Okay.
So it was just after the meditation. So I'd really opened up, like you said, some portal.
Yeah.
And the night before, actually, I heard that there were two little grey beings in my bedroom with the lights on top of their fingers. actually there were three, sorry, there were three. And all I could see was like these little like lights walking around my bedroom. And I thought, what on earth? And because I didn't know too much, I mean, I knew that they existed, but I didn't know too much about the size or anything. And I thought, I must be going crazy. There's none that small, surely. They're not that small. And I contacted a friend the next day.
How big were they?
Well, probably only about 3 foot tall, 3 or 4 foot tall.
Wow.
Okay. So, and they said to me, you're soon going to have a visit from 30 great lords. And so they were on the spaceship the next night. And my husband turned the video camera to light vision. We didn't get the ship at all, and we were so disappointed. But when we looked at the footage, and I've got it up on Rumble, I think it is, and I can show you girls later, or give it to you so you can show others. Mm-hmm. But there's all these orbs in the trees. Mm-hmm. So we're in a 3-level house, and we're looking on top of the 2-story house next door, and these lights were in the trees behind them. And I counted 30.
Oh, wow.
So they were beings from the ship, and they were there, and they were going do, and that would just disappear. And then it would come back like all over the place. And this is on top of the next door neighbour's roof. So unless the next door neighbours had a big party with people with torches that were flicking them on and off. So
that you were getting any personal information from them at that point, or
do you feel you had an upgrade or anything at that time?
I feel I had a big opening, a really big opening, because then a couple of nights later I was lying. Actually I had 3 consecutive nights on a ship, and all I can remember, the first night we saw the ship, the second night the ship wasn't there, but the power went off. And I knew that there was this energy building up inside me. And I said to my husband, I'm going to be taken tonight.
And I remember having that feeling. Do you remember that, George?
Mm.
Yeah, we both had a similar feeling.
Yeah, it was just like all of this energy. I just honestly thought I could throw lightning bolts out of my hands. That's what the energy felt like. I just felt like I needed to ground myself. And so, I tried to with crystals and everything, but nothing worked, nothing. That was there for a couple of hours. So yeah, very.
And it was a good benevolent
absolutely. Absolutely yeah. So well, the next night, that night that the power went off, I was taken. I had a being either side of me. I was sort of I don't know whether I was paralyzed but it was sort of an outer body experience. It wasn't a full body experience, but they took me straight through the bedroom window. And as soon as that happened, that's all I can remember. And then I woke up, I was back in bed, the power was on, but the light was, the clock was flashing on and off. So I knew that was correct. Then it happened the next night, and the power went off again. Mm. And I said to Michael, if I can talk them into you coming, do you want to come too? And he said, yeah. But I didn't with that. That night, I actually, I have a Down syndrome nephew, and he was on the ship and he was being healed. My sister had just spent a 3 months solid every night with him trying to clear a cold up that he had gotten. And because Down syndrome kids, their tongue is quite big, so it blocks up a lot of airways, and their nasal passages are quite small. So he spent all night not being able to breathe. So Kylie, my sister, she was up every night for 3 months. And since that night, since I saw him, he was fine.
So you remember it too, though?
I remember a little bit about the ship, like a beautiful feeling, but just an empty like a corridor. And I was walking around the ship by myself.
Right.
So I must have felt comfortable, whatever ship it was. And then I found myself down into the healing room where Liam was, and there wasn't only one ET or space person there, there was like, he was surrounded, like I would say there's a dozen. And like some of them were greys, as some of them were from, had blue uniforms on, some you could tell was from a different race of beings. So
yeah, we've been told that on our ship, the Enterprise, there are all different kinds of beings, not just humanoid looking ones, but a whole variety, and they all have different talents and skills. Yeah. And then there's all the ones that are rescued too. So there's a huge variety of beings on the ship, and about 1,000 altogether. Wow. Well, that doesn't surprise me that you saw different ones.
Yep. Yeah.
I remember having a QHHT myself, a couple. I've had about 5 or 6 in my time, but I do remember being taken for a look on a ship, and I didn't know anything about the Enterprise or anything back then, but my Pleiadian mother and father took me hand in hand and took me on a walk through a ship. I do recall that. It was just huge, and just people everywhere, just sort of, you know, sitting down on couches and walking around. I do have a small vision of that, but yeah, nothing.
Me too. Yeah. In a QHHT I did with Claire, I was on a ship, and I was just in a corridor, and everything was white. And I remember saying to her, I'm absolutely ancient. I'm an ancient being, and I'm on this ship, and I was going, oh, wow, it's alive. Like the walls are alive, and they're crystal. They're made of crystal. So yeah, wow. It's just beautiful.
Well, I can remember the corridor, and it was white, but it had like a beautiful, it didn't, because I thought, oh, this is going to feel cold, you know, am I going to be warm enough? But it wasn't. It was just perfect. It felt like it was a big hug, actually, you know, from someone really, really close. It was just had such a high sort of loving frequency.
Yeah. So tell us about the lions that you saw. Did you get to see them closer up or anything like that?
Quite often I will, even today, I see them, I hear them. I've got a few lines, I've got tiles with a sort of vein through them on the bathroom floor, and all of a sudden I'll look down and the vein on the floor will just throw up a lion's head or something for me. So, and I have had, I've had lots of other experiences too, and dreams and visions of lions. And
what do they represent to you, like the lion?
In my family, I think I'm a lion-headed Lyrian. Yeah,
right.
I think, and it's so it's funny because a couple of months ago I heard this voice in my head, and she said, my name is Rima, and I'm your future self. And Rima means advanced joy.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So R-E-M-A. Yeah, so I don't know whether that's me as a lion-headed being in the future, or whether it's you know, some other race that I think I'm a bit of a hybrid, as probably we all are.
That's what I am. I reckon I'd be half dog. Because I love them so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I did a meditation today, and I heard, watch for the mystic dog.
Ooh.
Mystical dog. And
me.
I thought, oh, maybe.
Watch out for her, the mystical dog.
Anubis, the god from the Egyptian times. He's like human body with
that's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well,
so whether there are or whether there aren't, I don't know really, but you'll have to get someone, you'll have to get Georgie to do one of those past life things on you, or a channeling for you to see.
Yeah, just have to get Georgie.
It'll just take me 2 years to do the training, DevaLee, because I haven't done it.
You just read the script out, you'll be right.
Oh, okay, I could give it a go.
Really
very interesting.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned you also had a heart opening in 2011. Was that part of all that?
Yeah,
just
so
talking about as
this all
well.
happened so from November from when I had the meditation, the heart opening happened probably a week after the spacecraft. And I was lying in bed one night, and this Sri Yantra, so the Sri Yantra is a Hindu symbol for the divine feminine. And to me, it looked like the Sri Yantra or a tree of life type thing. And it was in spiritual form. It was the most beautiful yellow metal I've ever seen. And I just heard like vroom, 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 and it woke me up. So I thought, oh my God, okay, I've got another ship here, because that's what it sounded like on the ship, like that vroom, vroom, you know, like you can just faintly hear engines.
Mm-hmm.
And that woke me up. But this yellow Sri Yantra came down and in spiritual form and went through my chest. It traveled down the front of my chakras. And then as it came back up the back, lots of past life trauma and everything was taken.
Oh,
and it
lucky
sort of
you.
lucky you.
Yeah. I was told, and so that was number one, and because I got the words heart's ascension, and you're going to ascend by opening your heart and just working with the heart. And so I tried it for a couple of months after that, and then I moved on to my little next thing, which was, you know, something else. So I'd sort of forgotten to be the heart opening, you know, and view everything through the lens of love. And just the last, I'd say 6 months, I've been really, really working on it, because I've had, I'm a healer myself, but I've had this gut problem. I've cured myself of cancer, breast cancer, and then the second time I had cancer all throughout, and I detoxed myself and my emotions and cleared the cancer that was supposed to have been, I was riddled with in 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Cleared that up within 3 weeks.
How you did that?
Amazing. Well done.
Yeah. So and there was no fear there. So in just somewhere within me, I knew that everything was going to be okay. So somewhere I must have had a knowing that, you know, this is karma, and, you know, you can do it, you can heal it, don't show your fear, and da. So I stayed strong and loving, and got through that. But this gut problem has been slowly getting worse and worse and worse, and I couldn't find out why. And I found out, probably started on this path about 12 months ago, where I did a past life regression on myself, and I was spent quite a few lifetimes as a SRA, satanic ritual abuse, down in the Duns.
Right.
And one sort of nighttime rescue that I did, and I was doing with another lady, or an aspect of her, during the night, and we'd go and save the souls of little kids who have been in those situations, and we would try and help them to cross over into the light, instead of being so traumatized that they're in a corner like this.
Oh.
And anyway, so the last time I did it, it was actually me.
You were saying,
and I had a feeling it was in Buckingham Palace, right up in the attic. And I wouldn't cross over, and I even called my mother in from that lifetime to try and coax her, and the mum was there, and the other lady that I work with, I'm the counsellor, she was in there cleaning up the vibrations of the place, because those vibrations can actually send out tentacles to you and sort of keep you there, even once you've crossed over into the light. So she always sort of went around and what she called vacuumed all the bad frequencies out, and raised the vibration. And so this little girl wouldn't move on until we found her teddy, and we actually found her teddy, and then she went with her mum and moved on. So that was an aspect of myself that came, and I just thought, okay, that's done. That's it. That's over. No. Dream after dream after dream after being chased and sexualized and victimized and everything. So I thought, oh my God, is there another lifetime? And so there was, and then there were, I think there's probably about 4 or 5. And I finally just thought, oh my God, so I'm not sending love to the people who victimized us.
Oh, wow.
And I've got to forgive them. And so, yeah, so 6 months ago, I set out on doing that and viewing everything through, like every time a memory came up, I would just conjure up this love feeling in my heart and send it to me before the trauma started happening.
Right.
And then I would say to that self that was being traumatized, make sure when it's all over and done with that you've got this feeling of love still within you. And then I can feel that aspect of myself coming back home again and settling in my heart instead of being a trauma that's stuck in my gut where it was, everything's just so sensitive.
Yeah, that's so interesting. That's very much like the work that Georgie and I do with clients with the timeline change work, and we often go back to that point. But in the point that you've brought up about actually sending love to the perpetrator, it's an interesting one, and hasn't been brought up in anything I've done yet. So
it has in our quantum course we did though, Claire. Learning to
forgiving the narcissist.
Yeah,
that's true. It hasn't really come up in any of my practical stuff though with clients yet. But it's interesting to hear that story and how important it is, because
you're doing fantastic work.
Perpetrators have experienced a lot of trauma.
And that's why I can, sort of help others, because I've been through it myself. I'm what I'm called an experiencer. So as I experience, I teach others, so while that's fresh in my mind and that's that new thing, that I'm sort of always excited about, and the help. And once you hit on that thing, that target, then the heavens just open up and all of this help rushes in, because you've dealt with your karma, right? So and I had to learn to be brave and do it and heal it, and God knows no difference between good or bad. We choose whether we want to be a victim for the rest of our lives or not. He still loves us. He still loves the victimizer, whether they're still victimizing people, because there are people out there with that vibration who they're going to be attracted to.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah.
How do you do your healing work, DevaLee? Like, how does a session go?
Just so many different ways with everybody. It's just so different. So I use the crystals a lot, especially the tektites and the moldavite.
So we've all got our tektites from you. Thank you. And our moldavite, we love it.
And you've got one too. Beautiful.
Love it.
This is from DevaLee's collection that she sent to me as a beautiful gift. So I wear it every day.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, it really suits you, Claire. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Feels good.
So that and also golden rutile or rutilite I use a lot. That's I haven't got one here that I can just show you, but it's a clear quartz and it's got like veins of gold sort of going through it.
I've got one.
And that aligns your chakras and helps to clean your chakras. So while I'm working on people, I can just run. Yes.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Bit dark here, but
no, I can see it.
I think Georgie's going to have a gallery one day, like the National Gallery of Georgie crystals. You should see how many she's got. It's just beautiful.
I'm so in love with crystals.
That's a beautiful one.
So what's the main, what are the main properties of this one? Because I don't know a lot about this one, Deva.
Well, I don't know either, apart from, so yeah, it's, yours looks like it's a smoky.
Yeah, it is quite dark.
Yeah, and it's got, I'm not sure what the gold threads are running through it. They call it the rutile.
That's the rutile,
yeah. So that looks like a smoky and a clear quartz, and you've got the rutilated thread running through it too. But that's really, really good for bringing up the past and to help you to heal your and align your chakras and to help clear them out. But the main thing is with people that I teach them to every day, like even if you have to set an alarm on your iPhone for every hour, how am I feeling? Am I in my heart? Am I ready to spread love to those memories and traumas as they come up? And they can pop up at like any time, the anxiety that I used to feel in my tummy. It could just be over anything, over any small little thing. But because I also use the Wim Hof breathing method so that I can calm myself down. I mean, lots of TV programs I can't still watch with rape or, anything to do with harming children on cop shows or anything. And I always wondered why, always wondered,
I think us old souls have been through it all too. So we have the most to heal and to let go of in this lifetime particularly. So it's quite a difficult journey, and the self-healing never stops.
Yeah, exactly.
But tell us a bit more specifically about what you do, with your healing and how long you've been doing it, and you're on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
To tell people, who may be interested in coming to see you, and we'll put your details, like your website.
I actually do it by Zoom. I don't actually see many people at my house. So I do it by Zoom, and all they have to do is just sort of sit and be in comfortable clothes, have an open mind, box of tissues, and just a drink, and that's it really, as long as they've got Zoom, or if they want to come and see me, they can come and see me. But so you might be able to see I've got an Indian drum there, so I'm a shaman too by trade.
Amazing.
Nice. And your crystal singing bowl.
Yes, crystal singing bowl. I've done lots of, I've done a few frequency recordings, like for opening your heart and everything, and I put them up on my website to save you buying the big frequency machines that I've got here.
Terrific.
And I even have had recorded frequencies of the crystals, and it comes out. So it's like I've got this machine called Music of the Plants. So you hook it up to plants and you can hear the music coming out.
Yep.
And so I just thought one day I'm going to try my crystals, and I did it and it worked. And then the next day I tried it and it wouldn't work. And for the next couple of months it wouldn't work. And then all of a sudden it started working again. So I got out the recorder and I'm recording. So So as far as my healing goes, so I'm a Reiki master. And so because I think I've had a lifetime as an American Indian too, and the American Indian drum really stood out to me once when I had a healing many, many years ago. So I've got lots of things that I can fall back on, depending on the person. I can